Hi, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nikki 1000th Time Reactions,
where we react to a song after listening to it for our 1000th time.
We release 3 videos a day,
every day,
so make sure to hit that subscribe button
and turn on post notifications
so you don't miss out on all this great content of ours.
That's right.
So what are we going to listen to right now, Max?
We're going to listen to Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House.
I love this song. I've listened to it a lot, especially in the past couple of years. I've listened to it particularly a lot. For all intents and purposes, we're going to call it our 1000th time. If you're new to this channel, what we do here is we listen to the song all the way through without stopping because we don't want to ruin the intention of the artist or the vision. And then after that, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about a reaction. We'll go in depth with analysis, and we'll have a lot of fun doing it.
But before before we get to the song, as we normally do, we'd like to mention that we have another YouTube channel called Max and Nikki,
on which we perform oldies, tunes, jazz standards, and originals in that vein.
And we got comedy videos on there as well. But for right now, let's take a listen to Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House
for our 1000th time.
Here we go.
Deluge in a paper cup. There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, but you never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come. But there's no proof in the paper today. Tales of war and waste, but you turn right over to the TV page. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come. Between us, we know they won't win. Steps to the door of your heart. Only shadows ahead, barely clearing the roof. Get to know the feeling of liberation and release. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come. Between us, no, they won't win.
It's such a great song. I mean, it really is. You know, I've listened to it a lot of times, and when I was younger, it's not like I disliked it. I just didn't notice it as much until fairly recently, maybe in the past few years, and I'm obsessed with this song. Actually, it's so good.
Well, there is a performance years later of them doing it.
It was
concert.
actually it was not.
It was their farewell performance.
It was Crowded House's farewell performance in New Zealand in 1996.
Right.
Or,
and
yeah, I think it was New Zealand.
This is their final number,
performance.
their encore number, and they have the whole crowd singing along with them, and it really is.
It kind of brings a tear to your eye
Sure.
just watching it because they know it's the last performance. Although they have since, gotten back together. Although not all of them.
Although isn't the drummer unfortunately passed away?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a sad. It is a very sad, tragic thing. So it's especially poignant, that performance, because you watching it in retroactively, because that he's passed away.
But highly recommend watching that performance on YouTube. It'll give you shivers. It might bring a tear to your eye. But there's so many cool things about this song. There's so many different sound effects going on.
Right. For one, I do want to, I know what you're going to mention, but before that, I do want to mention that there's sort of a kind of a funk rhythm guitar thing going on.
Sure.
That's kind of interesting, because this song
is
not
kind
a
of
funky
more of a
song.
It's almost kind of a ballad.
It has there's a somewhat of a solemnity to it, and a pensiveness to this song. I mean, the lyrics are not, they're not, having good times. It's not a funky song, but it has a kind of
Well, but there's a lot of cool things going on with the car. After the first chorus, you hear that. You hear like a pitch bend with the
I think
guitar.
I think he's using the whammy bar or something. That's kind of cool.
There's something about this song. Obviously, it came out in the mid '80s, but there's something more timeless about it.
I think the reason is it's
not inundated with synthesizers.
Right. It's not like a.
Not that would be a bad thing.
No, that's a cool '80s thing. But yes, there is something. They are using. It's more or less traditional kind of, rock instruments.
In fact, the beginning of the song, there is a subtle synthesizer in the left ear.
There is, yes.
Which is just, it's, again, we talked about this in one of our other reaction videos. Sometimes these small things, you can't hear them, especially if you're not listening to the song with headphones, but it does add to the overall effect of the song that the power of that is having over you.
It helps.
It helps fill in the space and glue things together.
But also just has something on a maybe subconscious level that's affecting you, and you don't even know why.
We were doing the last single we released with our band, which was a couple years ago. When we were mixing it, we sent it to our brother-in-law, who's a producer and audio engineer. And he said, "This all sounds great. Can I recommend at some point adding a sub bass, like a synth sub bass at one point, just to give the song a little bit more weight?" And we did that, and it really made a big difference. Mm-hmm. It's not even that perceptible, unless you're listening with headphones. But
even then, it's kind of hard to notice.
But it does.
Oh no, you can notice.
It adds a quality that makes the song more well-rounded and gives it a bit more fullness. And that's, all these extra instruments in this song do that. There's a certain point where there's like bongo drums
like a bongo drum
or
thing
something that's playing over in the
subtly,
left.
It's got, it's just
subtly, and it's not always happening. It happens maybe every 4 bars. Mm-hmm. And that's really cool. There's something going on in the right ear where it's just kind of this.
There's, it almost sounds like a washboard, but I think it's something smaller. I think it's, something else that's a percussion instrument. What are those things
where they're kind of like those things that you kind of, it's kind of like an oval thing with like a circle. It's hollow.
Yeah, that's right. It might be one of those.
What are those things called?
I don't know.
You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
But you kind of scrape it, you mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember what this is.
It's one of those things. It has kind of bumps on it.
Oh no, that's not what I'm talking about. Oh. I'm talking about it's like a like a bowl-shaped thing, but it has it's hollow and it has a hole in it like a guitar, but it has those metal things. They're like,
Oh, that thing.
Yeah,
that
what are
goes
those
through,
called? Yeah, you kind
ding,
of-
ding, ding thing.
yeah. What are
I
those
forgot
called?
what it's called.
What's that called, guys?
But that's not what they're doing.
Are you
either.
sure?
No, it's a
Maybe it's going.
no. That would make a more of a tone.
I don't
actually,
know.
to it.
But there's so many cool guitar things that are going on. There's that organ, which is
The
cool.
organ the organ adds more of a kind of a pensive quality to this. Gives it a little more seriousness, I think.
Right, but there's also, well, the drums they're classic '80s drums. It's got that gated reverb on it, and I mean the drums in general are pretty reverbed out, which kind of gives it a bigger effect. Like it makes it sound bigger, But yeah, what is it about more serious kind of songs, or the subject matter is more serious, that
What
makes
do you-
it more of a anthem in a way? It sounds more anthemic if when the subject matter is a little more serious.
Well, I don't know. I guess there's something hopeful in this song. What was the intention behind this song? Was there, because he's talking about, is he just talking about kind of, these maybe figureheads in our society are trying to create war between us, and we got to let them know that they can't win, in that fight or something. Or was
Is
there,
it war? I think it's wall, to build a wall between us, or is it to war?
to build a war between. Oh, is it wall? I always thought it was
Look
war.
it up. I remember I looked up the meaning of the lyrics to this recently, but I've since forgotten all the meanings of the lyrics. But I think you can interpret the lyrics in many ways. I mean, especially the chorus, hey now, don't dream it's over. When the world comes...
many battles are lost. There's a battle ahead. Many battles are lost.
Hey now, don't dream
Build
it's
a
over.
wall. Oh, it is wall.
Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. We know that they won't win. That's...
Oh, maybe it is.
Those lyrics are really good. It's...
I guess I'm getting confused. There, so in the paper today, tales of war and of waste, but you turn right over to the TV page.
Mm-hmm.
Don't dream it's over. Or is he saying don't dream, comma, it's over? Or is he saying don't dream that it's over?
No, I think he's saying don't dream that it's over.
Because
Now, when the world comes in, he's saying when you let the world affect you, it will build a wall between us, Basically all the kind of negative things in the world will affect our relationship or something like that. But he's saying we know that they won't win. Or I think he's hopeful for that, or maybe he's almost melancholic about that because
No, I
he's
think
like,
he's saying, no, don't dream it's over. It's not over yet. And I think maybe there's a certain passiveness about us. He's saying they come to build a wall between us. We know they won't win. But he's saying tales of war and of waste. But you turn right over to the TV page. It's almost like becomes so commonplace that you are desensitized to it.
well, but I feel like there's some kind of allusion to the Cold War here with the Berlin Wall.
I think you're probably right about that.
Yeah, I mean, this is very much,
Yeah.
It's in the mid 80s,
Sure.
it's just a few years
Well, maybe-
prior to the fall of the Berlin Wall.
I'm just going to take an extra look. I just want to take an extra look about there's some maybe insight about exactly what he was intending with this song. That is Neil Finn.
Neil Finn, who's, of course, the lead singer of Crowded House, also, one of the lead singers of Split Enz, the brand that he had with his brother prior to this. Although he was not an original founding member of Split Enz, if you already know that or not. But
So
we just looked up kind of some meanings behind the lyrics.
Well, according to apparently Nick Seymour, who was in the band,
He was the bassist, I believe. I believe.
he was saying it was to encourage listeners not to succumb to, I'm quoting here, to the implications of consumerism and the mass media. So I think part of what I was saying was correct, that there's things that are happening in the world, and yet we become desensitized to it, and we just flip it over, the page over that's talking about war, and go right to the TV stuff, the TV page. In other words, we're succumbing to,
So he's saying, hey now, don't dream it's over. Maybe.
Yeah, don't dream it's over, because it's not over. Like
Right.
there's stuff happening and apparently, but Neil Finn would do that even in his former band Split Enz, where there was something that was, kind of there's a catchiness to the song, obviously, but there's an irony in it, in that there's something more serious he's talking about, and he would do a lot of that. In his songs, that there was a kind of an irony in it, and maybe even in the lyrics themselves, there's an irony as well.
It's a great song. I could talk a lot more about it, but we'll keep it at that for this reaction video. If you like what you heard and saw today, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications to find out about more Max and Nicky reaction videos.
Please keep tuning in.